Well, you yourself were not born and raised in Florida, right?
No, I was born in Louisiana. I was raised in Louisiana.
Correct. But you live in Florida now.
But I lived in California too for 25 years.
Right. But right now you live in Florida. That's your home
Right
base.
now I live in Miami.
Okay. What is it about the stigma of a Florida man that you think always seems to make the news? There's always some crazy story, and it always starts off with Florida man.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
You didn't know that?
I never even heard that before, dude.
Let's see. Florida man dies after window falls on him during attempted burglary. Florida man allegedly sets love interest on fire for dating his stepdad.
Dude, where do you get your news from, bro? Where do you get your news from?
Let's see. Florida man brings child with him during crime so he doesn't become soft. Like these Florida man headlines. Florida man accused of setting his girlfriend on fire.
Yeah, well, let me just say that first of all, I tried to make this distinction a few moments ago. I don't even think where I live is Florida. I think where I live is Miami. And Miami's definitely not Florida.
Okay.
So there's Orlando, there's Tampa, there's Daytona, there's the Panhandle. Then there's Miami, dude. Miami's a different kind of place.
Right. I mean, the big cities are always going to be different. They're probably talking about the outskirts. Here we go. Florida man arrested for stealing bulldozer to run down Joe Biden signs.
Yeah.
From what
that
I
does sound
understand,
like something I would do. I mean, steal the bulldozer.
Well, I have some of my employees used to live in Florida, and the way they described it to me was that Florida has almost been a secession type state. Like they've always felt kind of independent from the rest of the country, and they kind of just do their own thing. And with that comes some of this craziness. Would you agree?
No, I wouldn't agree.
Nah?
If you blindfolded me, I wouldn't know the difference between talking to people. I wouldn't know the difference between Florida and maybe Louisiana, but I wouldn't know Miami or LA. I don't know the difference, dude. Like every place has got its own, quirks and crazies and.
Yep. Well, in our last interview, you said something that kind of upset a lot of people. You said that if you get laid off right now, and this was at the start of the pandemic, you should keep working for free.
Yeah.
People lost their mind over this.
Yeah. That's because the way you title shit, dude. Florida man says work for free. It's because the way you title your shit and you cut it up and you freaking you're like TMZ or something, right? So, dude, people should work. Guys, you're working for free now. Fucking quit kidding yourself, okay? If that bothered you, listen to me, okay? You're working for free now. For 80 grand a year, they're paying you 80 grand a year. Most of the work you do, you're not paid for.
Okay.
Okay. And by the way, at 80 grand a year, you got no money left over. So you're really a prisoner. And shame on you. Shame on you if you're out there busting your ass every day and you hadn't figured out how to make enough money to take care of all the other shit you want to do in your life. And that's my message to people. On January 6th on Discovery Channel, you're going to see a guy with no money, no name, and no contacts put it all back together. And I bet $1 million that I can put it back together. You're not going to necessarily see me do it the way you might want to do it, but you're going to at least see a guy without a name, no books. Dude, I can't even walk in and say, my name's Grant Cardone. Okay, I can't tell people the truth when I meet them, but I figured out how to put it back together and go from zero, no money, no place to live, no food to eat, and how to put it together mid-COVID, by the way, in a beat-up city. So all you haters out there, fucking watch the show, okay? And you'll understand what I mean when I say work for free, because there's more money working for free than there is working for pay.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said that regardless of the amount of money that you make, if you are not actively investing your money and having your money make money, you are poor. Doesn't matter if you're making $300,000-$400,000 a year. If everything you get is being used to cover your expenses, your entertainment, your food, whatever else, if you do not have money that's growing on its own, you're poor. So you have rich and poor. Middle class, I think, is just a figment that people created in order to make everyone more kind of, comfortable and to go along with the system because
I'm good. I'm better off than most people. I'm in the middle. I'm not at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially once you start seeing your money make money, whether it's real estate, stocks, crypto, whatever else it is, sneakers, I don't care what it is that you're doing. But once you see that your money makes money, you're a lot less prone to spend money on just various things like jewelry or car or clothes, because you know that whatever you spend on that is going to be taking away from the money you could be making. And the more money you have put aside, the better decisions you'll be making because you're making more long-term decisions. You know, when COVID hit, I mean, listen, me like everyone else, you know, there's a certain level of panic, uncertainty, whatever else. But at least I said, okay, I have enough put aside where I could spend a few years figuring it out.
Yeah.
You know, even if I had to shut it all down, I have money to maintain my lifestyle for years and figure things out. Now, luckily, I didn't have to dip into those savings, you know, my investments at all. But knowing that I didn't have to kept me from making stupid decisions. And I saw a lot of people in my industry make stupid decisions, burn bridges, go off the deep end, ruin relationships because they were suffering economically at the time.
Never waste a good crisis, man.
Exactly.
That's what I say, you know. Never waste a moment for people to go crazy. You got to keep paying attention. You know, the people that hated on me on this last interview when I said work for free, I'm like, dude, why did that, you know, the old adage, if the shoe fits, jam it up your ass. Okay. If that bothered you, why did it bother you so much, dude? I'm just the messenger. Okay. Yeah, because here's the deal. Before, I had a kid call me the other day and says, hey man, I'm taking unemployment. I'm like, bro, you got to quit taking the unemployment. And he's like, I can make more money on unemployment than I can working. I'm like, yeah, but you're missing one point. You're losing. When they give you the check, you didn't have to get up this morning. You didn't have to learn how to work with a team. You're not communicating with people. You're not building a future. Dude, all you're doing is receiving a check. And if you're effect once, then you're going to be effect twice, and a third time, and a fourth time. And you're not learning how to get up every day and just show up. And that's why I'm telling you, like, if I was rebuilding everything today, I would not ask for money first. I would ask for an opportunity only. Let me prove to you what I can do for you. And then decide if you want to pay me anything. You will end up with more money with that pitch than you will if they just give you a paycheck.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Well, my last question is this. In terms of real estate, 2021, what do you predict?
Well, dude, I just tell you, I mean, I bought $500 million worth of real estate this year. I'm going to buy $1 billion next year. And if I could figure out how to buy $3 billion next year, I would. And I'm just, don't buy stuff that you got to pay for. Buy stuff that somebody else will pay for. Like, you don't need to buy a house. You don't need to buy a car. You don't need to buy a watch. Buy shit that other people will pay for. And if you love watches, go buy the whole watch store and sell watches and wear the shit so you can wear 2 or 3 at a time. If you love cars, go buy a car dealership. Don't buy a car. If you love real estate, don't buy a house, buy a fucking apartment building and let other people take care of other people. Provide them with a great place to live. Be in a good, a good area, a good location. Pay extra money for a good location where people have jobs, where jobs are coming. Take advantage of these migration patterns that are happening in the United States. Texas and Florida, I've been telling you for years, they're going to explode, folks. Like, it's going to be so good here. California and New York are going to continue to suffer. People are going to continue to leave there. They can't afford these places. It's happening right now. Arizona's on fire. Utah's on fire. Like, real estate is just unbelievable there. Colorado real estate is unbelievable today because the quality of living there. Texas is going to continue to happen. San Antonio, San Marco, Austin, Houston, you name it, almost anything in Texas, Dallas, Amarillo. All that will continue to happen. All of Florida will continue to grow. The Carolinas will continue to be good. Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville, Tennessee, the Alabamas, all that's going to continue to be great places to invest.
Well, me personally, I don't own a house. I rent the homes I live in. I'm now looking for a house, not because I think it's a good investment, but just a way to reward myself and,
Yeah.
essentially just not have to move every few years the way I've been doing. But
Yeah.
I know it's not a good investment.
Yeah.
I know a single family home is not a good investment. And whenever we've done these interviews and I've put that out, because you've said the same thing, the one thing that people always say is, Grant is only saying this because he has ulterior motives. His main business is apartments. So of course he doesn't want people to buy their own homes because then he'll be out of business himself. What do you respond to people that say that?
Dude, I ain't thinking about you. That's stupid. It's so stupid what you're saying. Like, you guys, I'm gonna get 40 or 50,000 apartments. Okay, I'm gonna have 15 or 20 billion dollars worth of real estate. That fucking, it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm gonna sell the whole thing to Blackstone. That's my play. I don't give a fuck whether you buy a house or you rent. You ain't gonna rent from me. Most people are not gonna rent from me. They're gonna rent from wherever they live. I'm just telling you what I'm doing with my money. Like, I'm not trying to convince. I'm probably going to buy a house this year. I might buy a fucking ranch and an island and a house. I might buy a helicopter, but it ain't smart. But once you're rich, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You want to spend $1 million on a dumbass watch? Go do it. But don't do it now. Get rich. Get your money straight. That's all I'm telling people. You want to buy a house in Beverly Hills and put $14 million into one house? Good for you. But you ought to wait until you have $100 million worth of apartments that pay the mortgage on the house that you live in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm saying to people. Like if I was a barber and you asked me for a haircut, I'd be like, oh yeah, it's time. Okay, but look, I'm not a financial advisor any more than I'm a barber. I'm just telling you what I'm doing with my money. All I can do on this show on January 6th, you're going to see me. This is the reason I did this show. Rather than telling people what to do, you're going to watch me make moves in a city. You're going to watch me build a new business from scratch. You're going to watch me avoid some businesses. You're going to see me make some connections in a city in a different way than you've ever considered it. Rather than me telling people what to do, you're going to see what I do. You're going to see me make some moves on real estate that the guy that did this show, Glenn Stearns, that did it previously, like, he's done some interviews and says, dude, the moves this guy makes, like, it's like watching like Tom Brady in his best years. But in a city where I know no one and I have nothing. And that's how most people are operating today. You don't have anything. You got a dream, no money. You have no connections. You have no name. You have no resume. What moves are you going to make? And so rather than telling people what to do on this show, because people don't want to be told what to do, they want to be shown. And then even those people, the haters, are going to be like, oh, he did it wrong. He should have done this. He should have done that. Oh, he should, whatever, dude. Like, at least you get to watch. It doesn't cost you anything. It's on Discovery Channel. And I think I'm going to turn some of the haters into freaking Cardones.
There you go. And you did the whole thing. You spent 3 months. You did it for $10,000.
Dude, I did it. And the question is, do I have to write a check for $1 million?
Okay, because what? If you failed, then you would owe $1 million?
If I come up a penny short, I got to write a check for $1 million.
There you go. So I actually did the math. You worked for $18 an hour for 3 months.
Is that what it was?
$18 an hour, which is just slightly over minimum wage in certain states.
$10,000 in 90 days? That's less than $18 an hour.
It was 3,000 some change a month, right? Which is like 36,000 a year.
How many hours though? How many hours a day?
2,000 hours in a typical.
No, dude, I don't work. Fucking who works 8 hours a day, man? A guy on a mission ain't gonna work 8 hours a day.
Well, there you go. So you actually worked for less than $18 an hour.
Yeah, I probably worked for like $8 an hour.
$8 an hour.
I did at least 12 hours every day I was in this town.
There you have it. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this show, man. This is going to be interesting.
Appreciate you, man.
And I'm going to check out Glenn Stearns as well. I mean, he's got a net worth of.
Yeah, I tell you what, like even you guys that don't like me, go back and watch the first show. You'll learn something. I learned a lot watching this guy. I literally took the whole 8 segments of the show and watched one after the other and was taking notes. I'm going to do this. I'll do this. I won't do that. I'll do this. So it's worth it. You're going to see an entrepreneur go from zero to at least trying to build something rather than going from zero to like trying to get a job.
Yeah, I mean, I looked it up. Glenn Stearns is worth $500 million. I mean, not exactly a billionaire, but still very, very significant. Very significant.
Undercover Billionaire, January 6th, man.
That's what it is. Grant Cardone, always a pleasure.
Appreciate you, brother.
Peace.